This is, well, it's Friday, isn't it? It's nearly the weekend. Time to relax and say hello to everybody who's watching. And if you're watching the replay, welcome to the replay. This is a Friday show where we'll discuss anything that interests us and also look forward to the weekend as well. And so start off by saying welcome to the show. And this is Steven and Bridgetti in discussion. And I'm Steven, and I'm waiting for Bridgetti. Now, the thing you've got to be prepared to do when you actually do a show with a co-host is you've got to be ready to go in the first few minutes if your co-host doesn't arrive straight away. And this can happen. So you've got to have topics prepared which you can talk about until your co-host does arrive. Now, the first thing is, if you want to join me on screen, then all you need to do is type guest, and I'll just type that in here. So type, if I could type, would be good. Type guest to join us. And if you do type guest to join us, then you'll get a notification via Messenger and a link to actually join us on camera. You're more than welcome to do so. And say hello. We've got a chat bot running today, as you probably noticed by now. We've got the guest bot running. We've also got a broadcast that's gone out, and I'm hoping that people who actually read the notification will actually come along and join us. One of the things that is rolling out at the moment is Facebook Premiere. And Bridgetti was the first to get it in South Africa. And basically, it's the ability to play pre-recorded video as if it was live. Say hello to Cheryl, and nice to see you. So Facebook Premiere, all along, Facebook have been telling us that we shouldn't pretend that recorded video is live. It's just to stop people running evergreen webinars. Now they've done an about face, and what they're actually saying is it's great to run recorded videos on Facebook, providing you say that you're doing so. And say hello to Fernando. And the Facebook Premiere will be on your business page. And when you upload a pre-recorded video, you can, when you press the publish button, you've got the option to actually schedule it to go post it now, or the new option, Premiere. Now, if you opt for Premiere, it will ask you for a date and time that you actually want the pre-recorded video to go live, and you can choose a picture to go with it. So that means that you can choose any picture you want, which is a bit different to what's happening on live shows at the moment. And then you just schedule it. And when you schedule it, Facebook sends out a notification to everybody that you are going to be going live on a certain date and a certain time, pre-recorded live. Now, what happens next? Well, you come to the day of the premiere and make it a good one. You can watch the video that you've chosen together with the people who have come along to watch. Now, this means that you can actually hold text discussions with people while you're all watching the video. So if you had, for argument's sake, you had a training video, you could put the recorded training video as a premiere, promote it, and then you can actually talk about it whilst the video is running. So you can take live questions about the premiere itself. So there's another step forward. It's very simple and easy to use. All you need is recorded video. I'm actually going to do some special recordings for the premiere, so that there will in fact be premieres, because it's the first time anybody will have seen them. So I'm going to this weekend, using vMix, create some recorded videos and then be able to play them as premieres. So we know it's in South Africa, we know it's in the UK, and it will be rolling out to everybody eventually. Now, just let me go off for a minute and see if Bridgetti has been online recently. I'm just checking. Yes, Bridgetti is online, quite possibly watching the show. Right. Okay. Now then, what's next? Okay, if you caught 5 days live in August, we had a ball Monday through Friday, and we did 5 live shows. We covered camera confidence, we covered show planning, we covered repurposing, and then we went on to promoting your show, and finally we did a recap on planning and camera confidence. Now, that went so well that what we're actually going to do is that we're actually going to do 5 days live in October. Now that's October 1 through to 5, Monday through to Friday, and we'll have the same co-hosts. So that's myself, Bridgetti, David Burrows, Cheryl, Linda, Erin, RJ, and somebody else. We're bringing a couple of new people in as well, so it won't be exactly the same as it was last time, but it will be different topics, same hosts, and we're going to cover that over the course of 5 days. So that's October. I'll take that down off the screen. If you want to join me live on camera, just type guest to join us, and you're more than welcome to do so. And the next topic that I'm going to bring up, what I would have brought up Bridgetti's weekly shows, but there's no Bridgetti, so I cannot give an informed guess about Bridgetti's weekly shows. So look forward to Bridgetti joining me, and just hope that everything's okay. Now, one of the things I talked about in BeLive this week was blogging and recordings. Once you've finished a live show, that's just the beginning. Right, okay, just let me go off topic for a moment, come back to Cheryl. And yes, we hope to catch up with Annie as well, to talk about anything that's happened in the 2 months since. So yes, you'll be able to catch Annie on the shows as well. Thank you for reminding me of the 8th co-host. It's just that we were thinking of another couple of programs as well, because we like to get people who've written the software that we use. So RJ is reaching out to a couple of software houses who are useful to live broadcasters, and then we were bringing those in as people in as co-hosts as well. So it will be different topics, same co-hosts, with a couple of additions, and we're choosing that. In fact, if you've got anything that you would definitely like to know about, I mean, we've covered camera confidence, we've covered planning, we've covered repurposing, we've covered promoting, and then we went back to camera confidence again. If there's anything you'd like us to cover in October, then please just write a comment now, and we'll see if we can include it in the schedules for October 1st through 5th, because planning has already started. Celebrations have ended, and now the planning for the next one starts. And say hello to Gospel, and at the same time say hello to Gospel. I've got the first inklings that I may be joined on camera. So hold your horses and hide that and say hello to 3, 2, 1. Hello, Bridgetti.
Hello, Stephen, and I want to say a warm welcome to everyone from a very cold Cape Town. It's freezing here.
Well, it's your winter, isn't it? It's the opposite to what we're expecting.
It is, but it's unusually cold, and they've actually forecast that we'll have a further dip in the weather tomorrow.
Oh.
So, yes, I know, and I'm like, it's already cold enough as it is. I can't handle any more cold. But that's okay. We'll make a plan. Thankfully, we've got electricity, so it's either a fire or it's a heater, and it's a reason to be thankful. you know, I always think, you know, whatever we're going through in life, there's always a reason to be thankful. Cold and it's raining, I always want to be thankful for a roof. I've got warm blankets, a warm bed to sleep in. I've got a heater or a means to make a fire, because there's so many people are so much less fortunate than us, means of heating themselves up, or a warm cup of coffee, or a warm cup of soup. So that's always been my motto in life, and my guiding force is that we always need to find something. There's always something to be grateful for.
I totally agree. And be positive and look on the bright side. Sometimes not easy, but it's the thing that keeps me going. And you know, it's motivation, really.
Oh, absolutely. And it's all about mindset. For those of you watching now, many of you may not know, but I live with chronic pain. I have chronic back pain. It's struggled with for many, many, many years. And my pain fluctuates. And sometimes it gets so bad that, and it's not every day, but when I have a dip, sometimes breathing becomes difficult. And the one thing that gets me through that difficult moment is just focusing on the fact that I can breathe without a machine, that I can still breathe on my own. And that's what I focus on at that time. And it helps. Otherwise, I will simply seek, deep into depression. So whatever it is, find something to be thankful for. Helps you move your mind shift from going into depression and learning to just the wave. But that's how I manage. I practice grateful living.
And of course, we are fortunate, and I hear what you're saying, but we are fortunate to now, with the advent of live video, have a way of actually getting out into the world without leaving home.
I think many have got home studios, many of the live streamers. I mean, some may have, but I actually don't have a studio at home. I mean, it's relatively easy to set up a studio. And for anyone watching that wants to start out new, you really don't have to spend a lot of money to build your studio at home. Thanks very much, Cheryl. You can start off very inexpensively and use simple things. One of the tips that we learned last week when we did the 5 days live. I mean, I love, for example, what Jason Franco's done. He's got a fantastic background, and it literally is mesh with light shining against it that's bouncing off the mesh. Or I don't know, just paint a wall behind you, or use something that you've got in your garage. Just be innovative. So it really does not have to be something that costs you an arm and a leg when you're getting started.
Totally true. And I've just been saying that we're doing the 5 days live again in October, and there's been a request or a suggestion that Annie should be with us again about repurpose.io. And it's always good when people are requested.
Well, that's a huge bonus, because I mean, you put so much into your live stream. It takes a lot of time and effort to run and manage a successful production. You spend time and effort marketing. You spend time and effort making sure that the production runs well. There's so much preparation work that goes into it. Why would you not want to get the best benefit out of that video? And I will always remember what I think it's Robert Stern. I've been missing him. I really miss him.
I miss him too. He's around somewhere, I know.
I know he's around, but I really do miss him. It was great having him always be around on a Friday. But anyway, he was saying, that most of his videos, he repurposes. You know, if you're doing a video that's a live hour, there's so much value in that you can literally take 5-minute segments and repurpose that on so many different platforms. And what Honey does is amazing because he has automated that process so that you don't have to manually do everything. I mean, if you think about the time that it takes you to prepare for a show, it can take 3 hours, sometimes more, to prepare well for a broadcast. And if you were to then after, it can take many, many hours, even days, to just get that video into the right segments. So having Honey does is amazing. It's absolutely amazing. But if you just apply your mind and get creative, you can get a lot of mileage out of your work.
Well, that's true. And the other thing about repurpose.io, it essentially takes your video from Facebook to YouTube without you doing anything. In addition to that, you can create a podcast from the video. So, for example, two of the shows that we've done this week are being turned into MP3s and will then be uploaded to Anchor. Because the thing is that some of the shows that we do talk non-stop. So they are, you know, pretty good for actually repurposing as podcasts, and repurpose.io does that too. So I've got 2 podcasts waiting to go.
What I don't know about repurpose, does it also take the embed code to your blog automatically? I'm not sure about that.
That's a separate product called Simple. I'll type it in, then we all know.
Simple Press or something.
Indeed, that's close. That's close. Okay.
I knew something about Simple.
It is Simple Social Press. And
there we go. There we go.
I keep that very busy. This is a WordPress plugin, and basically what it does is that it will take your live video from your Facebook page. It will take the video, it will take the title, description, and the tags, and it will take them over to your WordPress blog. It will also take the comments. Now, Google loves comments on blogs. People don't comment on blogs anymore. I don't. I can't remember the last time I was driven to actually comment on a blog. So what you're actually doing is taking what is termed Google juice, because when you take the blog with the comments made on Facebook, you're actually creating something which Google likes. And if it's on your WordPress, if it's on your WordPress blog, then it can be seen by the world. Yeah.
Well, that's a huge advantage. So that's a separate service to repurpose.
It is. Basically, it was the first. Annie designed that when Blab was around, because, well, just after Blab started, and when we came over to Facebook, that's when he started. Between Blab and starting and being on Facebook, and Jonathan used to make quite a great deal of use of it. But his shows used to get 200 and 300 comments, which meant that exactly, when it was ported over, the comments were about 20 times longer than the post itself. But it was all good. I mean, it works so well. I mean, it's an annual fee of $79, and it does the job. I mean, I've not written 6 blogs this week. With the shows that have been done, and they're automatically transferred. I don't need to do anything to them, and I'm using my own software to promote them. So basically what you're actually doing is giving a second life to your videos quite easily. So perhaps a third life if you're going to YouTube as well, and a fourth life if you're going to podcasts. So he's a clever man.
Yeah, right. Amazing. I must tell you something interesting.
Okay.
One of the people that I interview fairly often on the Water Show, He's a water strategist and a scientist, and he's just started or launched a program that's aimed at holding the authorities accountable for flooding clean water, or for a lack of clean water.
Right.
And program, he's getting a lot of interviews on traditional media as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I've taken some of those videos from the original videos. I've taken them and I have chopped them up a bit into segments where it will only highlight portions that's relevant to people that they want to see in, with regards to water. And I've then uploaded those videos as a premiere video for people to watch. Now, the interesting thing that I've noticed, now when you upload a premiere video, Facebook provides you with the statistics and metrics the same way as it would with a live video. And I mentioned this to him the other day, and I said to him, I don't know if it's simply because I have already built up an audience with an appetite for that kind of information.
Mm-hmm.
But when I've uploaded those videos, I have had 100-fold more views than the networks that did the original video.
Oh, wow.
Both on Facebook. I mean, it's just scary. I look at the amount of views they had.
Uh-huh.
I mean, there was one video, I think, that they did recently with him, and their views were roughly between 1.2, 1.4, I think, somewhere there the last time. And mine was over 10,000.
Wow. Uh-huh.
Same video.
Yep. Yep.
So I'm guessing it's obviously the distribution that I already have on Facebook for my videos. I don't know how else to explain that.
So Premiere is certainly something to be involved in.
I would say very, very definitely. It's not, I'm not quite sure what the criteria is, how Facebook rolled it out. I was having this conversation with someone the other day. Now, interestingly, I've got Premiere on my personal fan page.
Uh-huh.
Now, the water crisis, I've been running shows on there for well over a year, and all those shows are over an hour long.
Yep.
And the viewership has been, huge.
Mm.
I mean, similar to this, the one I was just telling you about now, the viewership on that is over 10K, and it's reached over 40K people. That's massive. That's powerful. So, I've had lots of videos with that kind of reach on the water crisis page, and yet Premiere was not made available to me on that particular page. Now, the only thing that I could figure out was that the shows on the water page were pretty much for the last year and a bit ad hoc. They were not always at a specific time. On my personal page, though, I started doing broadcasts every single day, consistently, episodic ones, that were just 5 minutes long, in addition to me recently starting some more broadcasts that are weekly. And so I would imagine that the reason why I got Premiere on that page was because of the more episodic content. That's the only thing I could put it down to. I couldn't see any other criteria for it.
I don't know. It sometimes bemuses me how Facebook decides who gets what, because you got Facebook Premiere before anybody else. South Africa seems to be a testing area, as does Australia and occasionally Canada. and the USA and the UK, when you say you're happy with it, we tend to get it. But I got the premiere this week, and now I'm definitely looking forward to actually trying it out with a pre-recorded video. Did you get any? Well, they do an announcement as soon as you actually schedule it, don't they?
Yeah, it actually is treated exactly the same way as a Facebook Live. You can schedule it, and as soon as you schedule it, the announcement goes out the same way as when you schedule a regular live. And
right.
obviously people get them, and people get the notification when you're going live as well.
So what they're doing, it's words, because they're actually saying that the Facebook post is the announcement.
Correct.
Right. Okay. I was getting excited there. I thought it sent a message to everybody. Never mind.
Yeah. But I mean, obviously, you know, if you've got, I mean, everyone who's liked your page is going to get the notification. So,
Yeah.
so there's another point. It's worth going through your notifications on your page, because on the notifications, Facebook will advise you when someone has liked a post. And that then gives you the opportunity to invite that person to like your page. And you want to do that because the next time you go live, they're going to get a notification to say that you're going live. So that's one easy way to increase likes on your page, is to go and check your notifications and go through everyone who has liked a particular video that you've put out.
Good idea. Good idea. And anybody who comments on your show should get a message after the show too. That's another way to actually start building relationships and get involved with people and network. Start a conversation today. And if you start a conversation every day, you'll start at 260 in a year. You'll find yourself with 260 new contacts, all of whom know what you do, and they may turn up to your shows. Now, talking of shows, which shows do you have on weekly at the moment, Bridgetti?
I do a daily show, which is 5 minutes. Literally, it's called Be Inspired with Bridgetti, and I share an inspirational thought every single day, Monday to Friday. I don't do it on the weekends. I take the weekends off. And then on a Tuesday at 6 p.m. South African time, which is 12 Eastern, I do a show called The Writer's Corner Live. So I interview authors and give authors some exposure. Not only are authors then exposed to each other from across the globe, but also they expose each other to each other's audiences. So that seems to be working pretty well. I am very chuffed with the way that show has taken off so quickly. And then on a Wednesday, I run 2 broadcasts. One is called The Intrepid Entrepreneur. And then I do one in the evening as well, and that one is called Envision the Flow. It's a mindset with my co-host is a qualified registered psychiatric nurse, and so she shares mindfulness and how you can apply that not only into your daily life, but also incorporate mindfulness to run a successful business. And on the Intrepid Entrepreneur Show, it really is about giving tips and hints to and that show is also starting to take off. So those are the shows that I'm currently running. Thanks, Gospel. It's taken me a long time. I must be honest. I mean, my broadcasts up until 2 months ago revolved mainly around the water crisis, and that's not going to end anytime soon, because it's, you know, the crisis is ongoing. But I've been trying to break out of that mold of being known as just the person who broadcasts about the Cape Town water crisis. It took me a little while to sort of make that mind shift, but I have now, and I really am enjoying it. I'm enjoying other broadcasts. And of course, you know, our show that we do on a Friday night, And in addition to that, I'm always, when I'm available, happy to jump onto others' broadcasts as a guest. Because, you know, I've just met so many awesome people from around the globe. And that's, to me, is what live streaming is about. It's about building relationships with people, you know. When I tell my story of how I got started, I always tell people how, you know, live streaming saved me from myself, because it's something that I could do from home. I've built a home studio from where I live stream, and I can work around my health challenges. So if you find that, you know, you're struggling to find an outlet, if you have some kind of a health challenge, have a look at live streaming. It is something that you can do from home. You can work around your challenges. I know Adam, for example. Adam suffers from an ear imbalance, vertigo. He's in a wheelchair. He had to give up his job as well. And one thing he could do was live streaming. And it's taken him a while. He's also built up a number of shows. And he says that, you know, it's made such a major change to his life, being able to live stream. And you can start small, you know, you can start with a 5-minute show. It doesn't have to be a 15-minute or a 30-minute show. Start in little increments and build up towards, thanks, James, build up towards 20 minutes, build up towards 30 minutes, build up towards an hour. And one good way of doing that is by having a co-host. You don't have to do it by yourself. 5 minutes may be easier to do by yourself, or 10 minutes. But if you're wanting to do a longer broadcast and you're not, and you want to have an engaging show, enlist the help of a co-host. And all you need to do, there's over 7,000. We're hurtling towards 7,400 members in BeLivers. And many people have done so successfully. Every now and then you'll see someone will post and say, you know, this is what my show is about. And I'm looking for a co-host. By the way, I don't know if you noticed, Stephen, I'm going to be running a new show in the BeLivers group from tonight. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And that show is aimed at helping people who are new to live streaming in little increments. Because camera confidence, for example, is one of the aspects, is something that takes time. You don't just become camera confident after your first try. And a lot of people will fail again and again and again. And I relate to that. I understand how hard that is, because that is what it was like for me. And so I have a lot of compassion for people who struggle to overcome the little hurdles towards becoming camera confident. And that was one of the reasons I felt I wanted to start the show, was to help people, and then also from their progress to the other little nuances that can help you have a successful broadcast and get to the point where you actually enjoy broadcasting. Because initially, you know, you struggle and it's stressful and you have this adrenaline surge, and you know, for a long time, I remember how hard it was to just hit that go live button. And I used to like hold my breath. I'm going live. And you have this high pitched voice because, you know, of how it makes you feel. But the more and more you practice, you start coming into your own, and you start breathing naturally, and you start sounding more and more the way that you naturally sound when you speak at home. And that's the goal, so that you become relatable, and people can warm up to you in a broadcast because they can sense where you are at and how you're speaking. So that is, you want to get to that point where you're comfortable. I mean, take the conversations that you and I have, Stephen.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, we haven't met personally, but I know for a fact that if we were to meet personally now, the conversation wouldn't be any different from what we're having now, because we've come to know each other very, very well.
Indeed, we have over the last
you
months,
know, we speak the way that we would speak to anyone else offline.
Totally.
and that's what makes the conversation easy and enjoyable. And that's what you want in a live stream. You want it to be easy, enjoyable, and when people watch it, they need to be able to relate to who you are, sense who you are.
As you said, being comfortable on camera is the aim, and it is easy with a co-host, which is why 5 of my shows a week are actually done with a co-host, and all of which are different and enjoyable in different ways. So your show in BeLive is today. What time is it?
It will be, I think it's 3 p.m. Eastern. It's 9 p.m.
Right.
So that's in 2 hours from now. Well, not 2 hours now. It's 1.5 hours from now.
It gets
I think.
confusing, doesn't it?
Yes.
It is 1.5 hours. It's 2.5 hours
3
from now.
It'll be 3 p.m. Eastern.
Right, which is 2.5 hours from now, I think. No, is that? Oh, we're getting confused.
It's 1.5.
Is it scheduled? You scheduled
it is scheduled. It is scheduled. Yes,
right,
it's on
okay.
BeLivers. So
hop over to BeLivers group, get yourself a reminder, and join Bridgetti at 3 p.m. Eastern. And we'll be taking guests on camera.
You know what I'm excited about this is we've decided that it'll be a 30-minute show. We'll see how things go. We pretty much want the show to be determined by the needs of the group.
Okay.
And then what we will do from next week onwards is select someone in the audience who has ideally stayed with us for the 30 minutes, and then invite them onto the show the following week to do a shameless plug.
Okay.
Because, we're all running a business at the end of the day, and you want to, it'll be a way for people to promote their show and what they do and what they market or the service or whatever it is they do. So we'll invite them on the show every week. We'll keep the last sort of 10 minutes plug segment so that people can prepare some information of what they would like to promote. So if there's any one of you that's watching now and would like to have this opportunity, then feel free to send me a message and we'll schedule to have you on the show for a shameless plug.
Brilliant. No. All right. Okay, we're good. Now, one of the things that both Bridgetti and I use is the Live Video Hub. And as we know, the Live Video Hub is supported by BeLive.tv. And this is a shout out to anybody who's doing a show on their business page who would like to reach a wider audience. Quite simply, if you send me a message with a link to your business page, then when you go live on your business page, you will go live on the Live Video Hub and you'll find new friends and be able to network and communicate with people that you've not. Well, the thing is that we have our own audiences, but this is a totally new audience. So please do take advantage. It is free to join. And there we are, the Live Video Hub. And Lynn is saying thank you. That's lovely of you both. And Cheryl is saying, I always welcome people to do a shame. I'm always welcome to do a shameless plug. I'm not sure how to read that, but
no,
okay.
she's basically saying, she welcomes the idea of being able to do a shameless plug.
All right. And Lynn is doing a trial chat with an author, and I've sent the link through her messenger and email. Should that be good enough for her to click on it and join? If she's going from a desktop, she'll just be able to click the link in a Chrome browser. It has to be a Chrome browser, and she'll then be on the show page, and you can check her camera and microphone before she comes in. You will then see her in the lobby, and you can bring her up on screen. If they're on mobile, then they should download the application from iOS store, App Store, or from Google, and wait for the link to come in. Don't load the program, wait for the link to come in, click it, and there will be again in your lobby.
So the key there is that when someone's joining on mobile, be sure that they download the BeLive.tv app before they click on the link.
Indeed. And this is a good point. I'm actually working on a BeLive troubleshooter in Messenger so that people can go along to either BeLive in 5 or the Live Video Hub and type in help. And it comes up with a question. It says, are you hosting the show? Are you a guest on desktop? Are you a guest on mobile? And it then actually takes you through a checklist step by step so that you actually have a successful show. So it handles the technical side, and hopefully that will be out by the end of August. And I know that, yeah.
You know what I also wanted to mention to you that I found, and I don't know if Facebook seems to have deprecated the setup for the video page. I'm not quite sure, but some people say they don't seem to have access to, you know, the format of your page.
Yeah.
And what I found recently, I know that you did a video to show how people can create. No, it wasn't you. It was RJ. RJ did the video on how to create a playlist.
Yes. To get the link for a playlist.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I found I don't know if it's a new configuration since I've got the Premiere on that page, but I don't even have to do that for a playlist. It's just available to me. It just says playlist and click to add. So there's nothing to do. It's just there, available.
Well, in terms of, well, it depends how you're doing playlists. You can just have one playlist, or you can have several.
No, this does several. This is several. I can create as many playlists as I want. So I simply, you know, add the playlist, and then what it does is you have, you know, you've got your selection of videos, and then it just says add to playlist. So I don't have to do any of what RJ describes in her video. Right, now I haven't tried this on any of my other pages, but I know that on that page, it's already there. Everything's there. It just says, you know, playlist, create a new playlist, and then just select the videos to add. Easy peasy. So if you don't have that yet, Facebook is likely going to roll that out to everyone as well.
Yeah, but the problem that RJ was addressing is that you can tell people to go and watch a video, but you can't tell people to go and watch a playlist because there's no link. They will have to...
Well, what I do actually is on that page that I've got, I can select a playlist and send people that link, and I've done it. I've done that with people, just giving them the one link, and it'll show them the entire playlist for that.
It shows all the playlists.
Shows on that playlist. No, not all the playlists. No, it'll give them the playlist to one show.
Okay.
So they won't see all my videos. They'll see only the show on that particular playlist.
Right. Things must be changing. That's basically that's been the problem for the last 3 years since playlists came into being. So I'm hoping it rolls out to the USA and the UK soon. Okay, we're good. Right. Okay.
Well, one thing that can be said though is Facebook is definitely making things easier and easier for video creators. Yeah. That's for sure.
Totally. They're totally on our side and doing everything. And as you said, with the Premiere feature, which is rolling out slowly, you actually get an increased audience because you feel that Facebook is pushing it.
I tend to get, I get that impression, yes, without a doubt. Definitely, if I look at the viewership that I'm getting with the Premiere, it does seem that Facebook is promoting it.
Good. Right, because I was going to come on to Facebook playlist next, but you just if you're not in South Africa. Playlists are a great way to actually share a set of videos. I've got playlists for Erin and for RJ and for Brad Friedman and doing one for Angel as well. And basically, anybody who wants a playlist, if you're on the Live Video Hub and you want a playlist, just let me know. I'll create one, and I will find the link and send it to you so you can actually share it to people. Because playlists are a way. If you take, for example, RJ. RJ broadcasts from Black Belt Bots. RJ is a guest on a lot of other people's shows, and she's also on BeLive and 5. But by creating a playlist just for RJ on the Live Video Hub, all the shows that she is part of go on that one list. If she was to do the same on Black Belt Bots, she'd just have 2 shows per week. On the Live Video Hub, she's got all the shows she's done with everybody who's on the hub. And of course, everybody who broadcasts with RJ is on the hub because she makes sure that they are. So instead of actually just showcasing 2 shows a week, she's actually showcasing every show she's been on. So just a shout out for playlists, playlist version 1 and playlist version 2.
Yeah, and it definitely is a good way of being able to showcase. Also, if people, if people very often, when you ask someone to co-host with you, they may say of your work. Mm-hmm. So playlist is a great way of being able to showcase what you do, especially if you're approaching a high-profile perspective. You'd want to make it as easy as possible for them to go and have a quick look at what you've done. So in that instance, and also, if you've made, I mean, with live streaming, we make so many friends online, and you may meet someone and say, well, hey, I'd really like to go back and see some of your work. Mm-hmm. And then you can just give them the one link.
Yeah.
Instead of, because previously it was a lot of hard work going to try and find all your videos. It was a nightmare. But with a playlist, it just is so much easier.
Right. And if the shows that you're on are shared on the hub, then you can bring them in from across all the different pages you actually broadcast on that week. Just an additional benefit of being on the hub. Okay. So we have talked about so far today, just Facebook premiere, the 5 days live, which was in August, and we're looking forward to the one in October 1st through 5th at 3 p.m. Eastern. Sorry, 10 a.m. Eastern. I'm getting my times confused now. It's catching. At 10 a.m. Eastern, we had a run through of Bridgetti's shows. If you'd like to put a link in the post after Bridgetti, it would be good, and people can find
I can do that.
Yeah.
How many shows are you running a week now, Stephen? Do you even know?
Yeah, Monday is David hosts the show from Canada, and that's Build Your Community. Tuesday is the new show, which is I Live Here, and I
love that. That is gonna take off like a house on fire. That was amazing.
Thank you. Well, it's basic. Fonz is writing a blog at the moment, and my bit is to contribute how it actually happened. Back in July, I was doing a show and I was waiting for a guest, and all of a sudden in the lobby, I saw Fonz. Yeah, because I put the guest link out, and I saw Fonz, and he sat on a bus, and I brought him up on screen. He was traveling on a bus into the city centre of Cambridge. Yeah. So as my guest wasn't there, I just carried on talking to Fonz, and we just talked about everything that we've gone through since we connected in May. And then he said, should I, when I get off the bus, should I give you a tour of Cambridge? I said, of course, we've got time. So Fonz gave us a half-hour tour around Cambridge, the sites that tourists don't normally see. So we saw where Fonz was born, we saw the bathhouse, we saw the shops and everything in the area. And I got together with him after the show and said, well, that worked well, because we had such great feedback while Fonz was actually on mobile and showing people all around Cambridge, that we decided to put the show together. And that's how I Live Here came about. And this week sees the second show. So that's Tuesday at 9 a.m. Eastern.
So who's your guest
And
this coming week?
We don't know yet, and we never reveal where we're going. We've got an element of surprise.
That's the twist,
right? That's the twist. I know one of the places, so you never know what you're going to find. You do know that you're probably going to have 1 or 2 people actually giving a 10 or 15-minute guided tour. And we know that we're going off to San Diego later this month. We're also going to Rochester in Kent in England. And I'm hoping to get over to Milan if I can get hold of our friend over there. Because Casa Chiesa, he does it as... Right, Casa Chiesa does it regularly. Whenever he and his wife actually visit a city in Italy, he does a show. Having researched over the weekend, he does a show on the Sunday about the place. So I'm hoping that in a future show he will take part. Gospel is saying, I was going to recommend Fonz using Smooth It like a selfie stick, and it shows a wider view. Perhaps people could use that. That's a good idea. I shall mention it to him, unless he's watching the show, of course, in which case he will have seen it, but I will definitely mention it to him. I'm not sure whether the camera being shaky actually adds to the excitement or not, or the reality of it, because what we don't want to, there's a thing here, and this is it. We're not doing a professional show as such. What we're doing is a show which is of the moment, and the whole idea is that it's real. So we're not going to say to people, you can't come on unless you've got a, So anyway, we'll see. But thank you for the suggestion, Gospel. I shall mention it to Fonz, see how we go. We've only got to Wednesday. Wednesday is with RJ on building bots, and then Thursday is with Linda West. Just do it, and then Friday I'm here. But I have half a show as well, which is Ask Angelica, which is German lessons online, and that runs every other Friday, although we are taking a holiday in August. So we'll be back in September.
So effectively, you've got 6 shows a week.
Indeed.
On a regular basis.
On a regular basis, I've got 6 shows a week. I also have 6 blogs a week because of Simple Social Press. All the 6 shows go across to my WordPress blog. I don't need to do anything. So as well as doing the live video, I'm creating 6 blog posts.
So can I ask you something?
Yeah.
Since when you started using Repurpose and Simple Social Press,
yeah,
how has that impacted your distribution, your reach, your audience?
It's right. Okay. It's been going for about 6 weeks, so it's early days. Currently at the moment, yesterday I had 476 people visited the blog post, visited the site, and that is growing. So my target is to have 10,000 people a month actually visiting, which has an impact because people actually do stop by and watch the video. So I'm at the moment about 50% there, but it does increase reach exponentially. Also, when I do the blog post, I know that I've just said that the 6 go across automatically, and they do, but that's with the Facebook post. But as we know, not everybody is on Facebook.
Correct.
So what I do is, using repurpose.io, the video has gone to YouTube. So at the bottom of the blog post, I embed the YouTube video for anybody who's not on Facebook. Yeah. So that if you're not on Facebook, you can actually watch the video still. So
have you done a comparison between your viewership on Facebook and YouTube?
Yeah, YouTube sucks. I don't have a viewership as such on YouTube. I've just been posting that. You can only look after one garden at once, and my garden is Facebook, and I take great care, and I visit every day, and I make sure everything's live. On YouTube, I've left it. It's a neglected garden, and it's got weeds growing, tumbleweeds blowing down the street. What's your experience?
You know, that's where you mentioned one good point there. People seem to think that you've got to be everywhere, but it's going to take a lot of time and effort, and you can't be good at everything. So especially if you're starting out, and even I think, I mean, I've spoken to some seasoned live streamers as well. It's not possible to pay the same amount of attention to every single platform. So you basically have to try and find and establish your niche where your audience is and focus on that and be good at that. Because you can, it's better to be good at something and do it well and get a great reach than to be on every single platform and suck at it. So where's the benefit in that? You want to figure out where your audience is and focus on that area of social media. It doesn't mean that you should totally ignore the rest, but spend your energy on where your audience is, or where you connect with your audience the most, where your audience relates to you the most. Figure out what that platform is and dive into that.
Totally. And one of our co-hosts on 5 Days Live has just messaged me, so I'm back now. Indeed, you can't be everywhere, and it is a mistake to think you should be. You're quite right in that. Concentrate, focus, go for where you are and where the people who watch you are, the people who get involved. And as Cheryl was saying, that's a great reminder, Bridgetti.
And you know, I can't emphasize enough that when you do live streaming right, when you're producing a broadcast, it takes a lot of time and a lot of energy to do that. When you do it right, it's not the same as somebody just hitting go live on their phone. I'm talking about a produced show. So if you're taking that amount of energy, time, and care, do it well. Why do you want to waste that, or why do you want to not spend the time on following up? Because it's you know, you don't want to just plant the seed. You want to make sure the seed grows.
Totally.
And you know, you want to build relationships with people, with your audience, so that they'll keep coming back. And it's not possible to do that on every single platform, unless you've got a team that's working with you. You know, unless you're someone like Maury Smith, who's got a team of people. But we're not all Maury Smith. We don't all have a team. One way of helping yourself do better, though, is getting a virtual assistant. Mm-hmm. That's one of the things that one can do. But there's a lot of post-production work. And so there's great value in paying attention by not just laying the seed, but then developing your audience into a following that will keep coming back to watch your content.
You want to turn viewers into participants, so that we're all part of the same tribe, the same family, and it's great to see people coming watching our shows on a regular basis, and we hope that we're helping you. And Cheryl is just saying, I am just getting started, and it began to feel overwhelming. Facebook is great. I think Facebook is a great place to start. The audiences on YouTube and Facebook are different, and if you want to do well on YouTube, you've got to have high definition video, because everybody else has. And we have greetings from CA, which, as we well know, is short for Canada.
Hi, David.
Hello, David.
And you know something else that I thought of today, Stephen?
Yeah.
Is that I have found that the audiences on Facebook are a lot more friendly than on the other platforms, and a lot more engaging. You know, I haven't up to now. I've not really had an issue with trolls on my broadcasts.
Okay, good. Long may it continue.
So that's been great. That's been great.
Yeah, Yeah, I think I mean, Facebook is a closed system, and we do have the ability to actually patrol what's happening, and control. So that's good. As David's in the room, next show is, well, Bridgetti's next show is at 3 p.m. Eastern in the BeLivers group. My next show is on Monday at 12 p.m. Eastern with Mr. David Burrows, and we will be broadcasting from Sarnia, Ontario, Canada, and from Wiltshire in England about Build Your Community. And you'll see that on the BeLive Impact page soon, and there'll always be a link in BeLivers too. Well, okay, and right, okay, I keep getting messages in the background. I should turn the messaging off, shouldn't I, really? Okay, Bridgetti, we've done amazingly, that's the hour, so over to you.
I know, I can never believe that, you know, it's somehow the hour goes so quickly on a Friday. I cannot explain it. Before we know it, we're at the top of the hour. So I want to give a huge shout out to everyone who has joined us today. It's been fantastic. Thank you, Cheryl. Thank you, Gospel. Thank you, David. Thank you, Jason popped in. Thank you, Lynn, for joining us. Thank you, James, for joining us. And I hope I haven't missed anyone. If I've missed anyone else, please don't feel offended. Thank you for joining us. Thank you to everyone who is watching the show on the replay. And I want to wish each of you a fantastic weekend ahead. If you're on the roads, please be safe. Do not get involved in any form of distracted driving because life is precious. So from me, Bridgetti in Cape Town, I want to wish you all a great evening further. And do join us at 3 p.m. Eastern in the BeLivers group.
Brilliant.
Bye for now.
Right, and it's goodbye from Wiltshire in England. I echo everything that Bridgetti said. We'll see you again, same time next week at 1 p.m. Eastern on a Friday. Take care. Have a great weekend.